Chalk Talk Winter Special. I'm Chris Love.
And I'm Jane Mackey. Well, I hope everyone has had a great winter off-season. We're here to get you caught up with everything that's been going on over the winter, right before we officially kick off our spring Chalk Talk season in a couple of weeks.
The last time we checked in was late November, and Tufts had just captured the 2012 Match Race National Championship. Since then, the more tropical venues of ICSA have hosted the Winter Classic regattas. Michigan took home the Sugar Bowl at Tulane. Stanford won the Rose Bowl regatta at USC. And Salve Regina were this year's champions at the Rainbow Invite in Hawaii.
The annual ICSA Coaches Conference and Midwinter Meeting took place this January in Park City, Utah. This is when the coaches and sailors get together to discuss all the important issues in college sailing. A couple of important things that came out from this year's meetings.
Former BC sailor and coach Alden Reed proposed adding 2 more teams to the Team Race National Championship, bringing the total from 14 teams to 16. He says that with a slight change in format, they can add these 2 more teams without adding too many more races. The next question is how to award these 2 extra berths to a result in a more competitive regatta.
A conversation point that has been raised in the past at this meeting is what would college sailing look like as an NCAA sport? A representative from Mesa requested that Mitch Brindley provide an answer to that. What would it take to become an NCAA sport, and what would that look like for ICSA college sailing?
The ICSA procedural rules, which modify the racing rules of sailing for collegiate competition, have been finalized for 2013 to 2016. No major changes to report here, but a couple of minor details that will affect the team racing schedule this spring. First of all, the collegiate N has been deleted, and regattas will now sail with the digital N course, the same one that's used in international team racing, which includes a 4th rounding mark before the finish. Secondly, the open hand system, a series of rules for hailing umpires which have been experimented with in the past few years, will now be the standard at team racing. No more red and yellow flags for competitors.
The new racing rules of sailing include a major overhaul to Appendix D, which governs the rules of team racing. We'll be taking a deeper look at this later in the season. While most of ICSA is still snowed in, SAISA and CISA have already kicked off their seasons. We had the Harris-Kempner at Texas A&M Galveston, won by Texas A&M. The Nelson Roche at Tulane, won by Tulane. Charleston Spring at College of Charleston, won by Charleston. The USF Women's at USF, won by Stanford. And the Mendelblatt Team Race at Eckerd, won by Charleston.
And this past weekend at the Bob Bavier Team Race, Georgetown took home the title on a tiebreaker. Georgetown and Yale were tied on points 10-2. They had an equal number of head-to-head wins, and so it went to points scored in those races, and Georgetown takes home the Bavier.
SailOneDesign.com, which publishes the team race rankings throughout the spring, just released their pre-season analysis of the best teams for 2013. For an in-depth look, you should head over to that website to check it out. But today, we thought we'd check in with some of those top teams from around the ICSA. What does your team do to stay on the ball over the winter?
We have it pretty simple. We sail. With no off-season, we sail year-round. As long as we're in school, we're sailing.
Well, we continue our Tuesday, Thursday morning workout routine at 7 a.m. And we also have Tuesday, Thursday afternoon practices on the water, which is a little bit different from last year, where we had mostly classroom talks.
Well, we have team lift nowadays. Started like 2 years ago, and it's three times a week. And it's pretty intense. We go in during practice time, and we do a lot of sailing-specific exercises. We had Stu McNay work with our trainer, Kaylee, a little bit. So that's one way. And then the other way is we always have team race talks.
During the winter, we have weekly chalk talks at our team meetings on a wide range of topics from crewing tactics to the science behind sailing, just to get everyone on the team on the same page and thinking throughout the whole winter.
Our team doesn't really practice at all between the end of November and February because our lake is drained for flood control. So our first practice is actually going to be today. So we haven't been on the water, but we try and go to California as much as possible.
Well, our weight coaches are awesome at Georgetown, and during our off season, they'll provide us with sort of you're planning on doing cardio probably 5 days a week, and then 2 days a week also weight training. So they give us sort of a regiment to follow for the entire, time when we're not on the water.
During the off season, we try and do cross training we have workouts even though we're not sailing, and all the guys are on an intramural basketball team, and we actually have our first playoff game tonight. So that keeps us active, and some team building off the water as well.
Like over New Year's, I went down to New Orleans and went to the Sugar Bowl, and that went well. And then we went to Charleston last weekend, and we have everything planned every weekend until our lake thaws.
And then we usually have Dave Perry come in and give us a little rules talk. It's especially useful this time around with the new rules. Not too many big changes, but he's just a really good resource that we're able to use.
Focusing a little more on a social aspect with team dinners, potlucks, things like that. Tried to organize a ski trip, but that kind of fell through. But yeah, so right now I've finished up college sailing this fall, so I'm now coordinating the team and coaching full-time, which is good for them and a different challenge for me.
Our coach also likes to give us a few, weeks or a few months off, I guess, just to sort of collect and get ready for the next season.
So number 2, what is your team's main objective this season and how are you going to achieve it?
We lost a couple good seniors last May and in December, so we're kind of working to bring the old talent and get a couple new people up to speed so we have a really solid core. At the moment we have 6 pretty capable skippers for team racing, so that's our main focus, to figure out who the top 3 are.
So the main objective is always the same thing, to win national championships. Hey, Claire. Sorry. So this year we're trying to obviously win. The whole season's just putting ourselves in the best position possible to get those national championships.
Our team's main objective this season is to improve every day, and every competition, every regatta, every day. And that means learning the playbook well, learning the rules well, and being on top of it, and just striving for the best. And I think success will come from that.
I'd say that our boat handling is pretty important. We're really focusing on that right now as the beginning of the season sort of starting. We're also, hoping to qualify for nationals.
Goals, finish well. Nationals may not be the goal this year, but next year and the year after, for sure, we've got a pretty young team. Our women's team is actually looking really strong this year, so that's going to be a major goal this spring.
Obviously, it's to peak at nationals and have our best performance there, and I think that we'll achieve that goal by just focusing on the process of improving every day.
It varies by winter. Sometimes we get lucky and it's February, end of February. This winter, it's rock solid right now, so it'll probably be end of March.
Just kind of all working together as a team and getting in the team race mindset, because it's definitely different than fleet racing.
We have some of the best coaches in the country. Ward's won every nationals as a head coach, so he obviously has the experience to lead us, and he knows what it takes to win at the right time.
This year, our goal for spring is to qualify for co-eds, team race, and women's. We haven't gone three-peat in a while, and we're doing it by restructuring all practices and majorly upping the intensity.
And number 3, what is something about your team that our viewers might not know?
Our school is pretty small. We only have less than 2,000 students total, but we're one of 2 varsity sports, us and rowing.
We have an amazing group of people on this team and collectively speak 7 different languages. We also represent every engineering major offered at Stanford, which is pretty unique.
We sail on a flood-controlled lake, so pretty much the end of October, the lake drops about 20 feet, and we lose all the water.
once you graduate, you haven't really left yet. People come back. We have our YSA dinners. We have things called High Noon and other things like that. And important regattas like the snow. And, we try and stay connected with, the college sailing community after they graduate.
So I'd say that something that most people don't know about our team is that we actually have a really large team. We have about 45 people on our team that come to practice regularly. And I'd say that our new freshmen and our walk-ons are incredibly instrumental in the success of our team.
I think that we are the best looking team in college sailing, and I think a lot of people would agree with that.
It's our 75th anniversary.
75% of our team has never sailed before when they join our team.
Because we're in the San Francisco Bay Area, we get to do some pretty cool things. For instance, the Oracle team came down about 3 weeks ago to test the durability of their equipment by jumping off the high dive. So we got to, hang out with them, meet them, which was really cool.
Sometimes in the winter, if it rains for a week or so, we'll get a spike and we can go back out and practice. But it's pretty interesting trying to judge when the water is going to come back and incorporating that into the season.
Another one to check out is the March 2013 issue of Sailing World, which is the college sailing edition. Plenty of good content here to get you pumped up for the spring season. They've got the winner of the From the Road photo contest we told you about in the fall, a feature on practicing at Dartmouth, Oklahoma City University's amazing story, a team race tactics from Roger Williams head coach Amanda Callahan, and a story for you crews out there by tough senior Amelia Quinn. Finally, a great college sailing boat checklist from staff writer Meredith Powlison.
Thanks for joining us for the off-season Chalk Talk episode, and good luck as you gear up for the spring 2013 season.
Thanks for watching. Sail fast.